just, as I say, set this tone here, and Ravi will get a shortcoming from you now, but you know there's an intimidation factor. You know that they've got Imran and Waqar and Wasim. So you knew that there was going to be a bombardment of stuff that, no matter how good you are, no one really likes this stuff coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. But I felt this young boy had everything in his armory, and the thing which stood out for him was his courage. You know, the first time I saw him when he was a 14-year-old kid in Indore, and we were in Madhya Pradesh. We were in an under-15 national camp, and Sava Suparanchpe was our coach.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw him for the first time, and you could straight away see that he was special. He had the ability, and you know, I've seen him train closely even in that days. And we used to find him, he was mad, because you know, I remember going to England in 1989, and we never heard of bowling machines then. And I still remember going to Westminster and in their school ground, and there was an old broken bowling machine, and it was on an AstroTurf. And he and Vinod Kamli got into a bowling machine, and they were competing with each other. And it was scary, Alan, because none of them were wearing pads, none of them were wearing helmets, and each one wanted to hit each other. And they were trying to bowl at pace. And you know how those two, when they got together, behaved when they were young, because I've seen that. Yeah. And he still found ways to get away from it. And when you see those things, and when you yourself are afraid to get into the nets, and you realize that what special ability that man had. And I'm not surprised with what Ramesh says during that time with that bowling attack. Obviously, I hadn't followed that series so much because television wasn't big that time. Yeah. But what he's achieved today is something unbelievable.
Doesn't he owe you something, Sourav?
He owes me quite a few, though, not just one, because
that was
one of my stakes, and
that was your bat.
And the best bit was I was left out for the World Cup squad. They had to prone the squad to 14, and I got left out. And he came quietly to me. He said, "You're going home. You will not require it. I'll take it." I said, "Yeah, you can do that." But you know, it's just not the bat; it's the player, isn't it?
Yeah. But were you using a heavy bat also, or did you start using a heavy bat later?
No, this wasn't the heavy one.
This wasn't the heavy bat.
He realized in Australia that he couldn't use a heavy bat, such an heavy bat, and he went down to a lighter one. And see, he held the bat so low.
Yes.
So obviously, he didn't feel the weight as much as somebody like Shekhar Dhawan would do, who holds it so high.
That's an interesting point. Just quickly, because the fact is, I mean, that heavy bat, I mean, even I've had the privilege to lift his bat. I think, how the heck does he pick that bat up?
The heaviest I've seen him use was in the West Indies in '98. He had a massive BDM bat, and you know, he came to my room a couple of days before the test match asking if I had any old bat which I would throw it away. I said, "No, I don't." I said, "Why do you need it?" He said, "I need to chop a little bit of wood from the bottom of the bat." And I said, "What would you do with that?" He said, "I'm going to put it at the bottom of my bat and fix it with nails, so that my bat becomes a lot heavier." I said, "You must be crazy, because in any case you're using a 3-pounder. How much more weight you want?" He said, "No, I just get a feeling every time I pick, it's light, and when I hit the shots, I feel it will not get past mid-off and cover." So he wanted another piece of wood at the bottom of the bat to make it more heavier.
This is incredible, because I mean, to use such a heavy bat.
He was a closet weightlifter.
and he never trained. You know, the best thing about Sachin Tendulkar, in the later half of his career, when he was about 30, 31, we got the system of training in Indian cricket. Yeah. And he would refuse to run. He said, "My running is, you make me run 1, 2, 3, 4 on the pitch. That's it. Yeah. I cannot go around the park training with anyone." And somehow he managed to get his way through the fitness trainers, because he got so much of runs with the bat. Yeah. He would sit on the bike, and everyone said that their mothers would actually ride the bike quicker. He would put a earphone and sit on that for an hour and keep paddling and whistling a bit. But he got all the runs for India, so nobody couldn't say anything.
That's it. You couldn't.